Saturn is not there to spoil something that's already good, stable, and long lasting. On the contrary, it can bring more commitment into your relationships. Hello Libra rising and welcome to my new video. If you are new to my channel, my name is Alexandra and I'm a professional ISAR certified astrologer. Today we're talking about a big shift. Saturn, the planet of discipline, time, structure and karmic lessons, has entered the sign of Aries and your 7th house in May 2025, and it will stay there until April 2028. The 7th house is an angular house, which makes this transit extremely powerful and impactful for you. The angular houses are like antennas in a birth chart, so whichever planet you put there, its influence becomes dominant. So what does the 7th house represent in your birth chart? It is the house of marriage. It's also the house of relationships, partnerships, and collaborations. For example, if you want to start a business partnership with someone, you need to check your 7th house to see if you have potential for that and determine if it's better to work individually or as a partner. And the 7th house is also the house of public appearance. And some astrologers call it the house of open enemies. But here I have to say that I see it more simply. Relationships can be good or bad, but they're all relationships. So how will Saturn impact your relationships? Let's start with marriage. Saturn is the planet of tests, lessons, and reality. This could be a reality check of your marriage. How stable and satisfying is it? During this transit, Saturn will want you to take a more realistic look at your marriage and define if everything is as it should be. Sometimes people like to push things under the carpet because it's easier than dealing with them. And then when Saturn comes, it takes everything out and makes you deal with it. Because remember, Saturn is a reality checker. It rules Capricorn and it wants fact. If you've been struggling in your marriage for years, this transit can represent a pivotal moment, a testing period after which the marriage will either survive or not. If the marriage stays, it means it's built on a strong foundation. The transit will leave you with new lessons learned, more wisdom, and a new approach to your connection with your marriage partner. If, on the other hand, your marriage ends, it just means that your connection was not strong enough, and now it's time to let go and make space for something new. And for some of you, this transit can actually strengthen your relationship with your partner, because Saturn is not there to spoil something that's already good and stable and long-lasting. On the contrary, it can bring more commitment into your relationship. And here I also have to highlight something. Things tend to become a bit monotonous with Saturn because of the nature of the planet. It represents seriousness, responsibility, duty, and it carries that cold Capricorn energy. So don't get surprised if the atmosphere in your marriage changes a bit. So for example, instead of Friday date nights at home in your living room, for example, you might find yourself discussing bills or planning the future together or doing something like that, something serious. So duty and responsibility are in focus. And this also brings us to serious relationships. So great news for those of you who are in serious and committed relationships. Saturn in the 7th house can bring your relationship to the next level, which is marriage. Saturn rules tradition and formalities, so you might enter a formal marriage, especially with Aries in your 7th house, which represents new beginnings. So Saturn can initiate you into marriage, a relationship that you want to work on and build over time, which is all Saturnian energy. And if you are single, in the next 2-3 years, you can meet someone who will want a committed relationship with you. Aries is all about starting new things, and with Saturn in the 7th house, we're talking about long-lasting relationships and a more responsible approach to them. And when it comes to collaborations and partnerships, you can strengthen the existing ones if they are good enough. And those that no longer serve you or are unstable might end. So whatever leaves now simply doesn't belong in your life anymore. So you should just thank it for the experience and let it go. The 7th house is naturally ruled by Libra, and it represents public relationships and public appearance as well. So if you're into any of these, things can get serious. You might get more duties and responsibilities, which will result in you getting valuable experience that will serve you after this transit. This is also the time when you might get more serious and demanding opponents that will challenge you. And Saturn will want you to ask yourself, what is this experience trying to teach me? So remember, if you accept lessons that Saturn is trying to teach you through different situations and circumstances, you can get rewarded with wisdom and experience that is extremely valuable later in life. And overall, this is an amazing time to build meaningful relationships, the ones that are stable and long-lasting, and let go of those that no longer belong in your life. So thank you so much, Libra rising. If you found this video useful and inspiring, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you never miss a new upload. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.